Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're building a practical, step-by-step toolkit to protect your property from community cats. I'm so excited you're here, because let's face it, we're tackling a very common and very frustrating issue. Finding those unwanted gifts right in the middle of your prized petunias. But don't worry, we're going to solve this using science, biology, and some really smart environmental design. Let's dive in.
First off, I completely get your frustration. Finding your meticulously planted flower beds dug up or discovering a neighborhood cat has decided your new seedlings or their personal bathroom, yeah, it's incredibly annoying. It takes a lot of time and, honestly, a lot of money to maintain a beautiful yard. But here's the good news. We actually have scientifically backed non-lethal solutions that really work. You absolutely do not need to resort to harmful chemicals or aggressive trapping to reclaim your space.
So here's our toolkit for today. We'll start with the neighborhood cat conflict, then move into building humane physical barriers, safe scent deterrents, high-tech yard defense, and finally, alternative outdoor latrines.
All right, Section 1, the neighborhood cat conflict. When a cat wanders into your yard and digs up your fresh mulch, they aren't targeting you personally. They aren't trying to destroy your hard work. They're actually just acting on a really deep biological instinct. Felines naturally seek out loose, exposed soil for elimination. They just want a soft place to dig, do their business, and cover it up. Your freshly tilled garden? Well, it just happens to be the most luxurious option on the block.
So, the big takeaway here is that we can absolutely solve this conflict without harmful poisons and without escalating tensions with your neighbors. By understanding exactly what the cat is looking for, which is that soft, fluffy dirt, we can use humane engineering to simply make your garden inhospitable to their sensitive paws. Basically, it's all about changing the environment, not punishing the animal.
Moving on to Section 2, building humane physical barriers.
Now, the humane standard for any physical barrier is discomfort, not injury. You want a surface that feels unstable or maybe a bit prickly underfoot. But here's the absolute most common mistake people make. A barrier like pinecone mulch has to be applied as a continuous, dense layer. It literally cannot just be a decorative sprinkle. If a cat can still find even a tiny, paw-sized patch of bare, fluffy soil between those pine cones, they're going to use it. You have to completely eliminate those comfortable landing zones, leaving only just enough room around the stems for your plants to breathe and get water.
And there's actually a massive variety of safe, prickly but harmless textures you can use to thoroughly annoy their sensitive paws. You could interlock pine cones or use large, heavy river rocks. They're just way too heavy for a cat to scratch through. Another really fantastic option is a plastic cat scat mat. These have upward-pointing, flexible spikes that make digging super uncomfortable, but they're entirely harmless to the cat. You could even lay chicken wire completely flat on the ground and just let your plants grow right through the gaps. All of these tools successfully transform your garden from a soft litter box into a highly irritating obstacle course.
Okay, Section 3, safe scent deterrents. Listen, the internet is absolutely full of terrible advice when it comes to scent deterrents, so we really need to draw a hard safety line right here. While scattering fresh citrus peels along your garden border or planting some lavender is a perfectly safe and effective way to keep cats away, using concentrated essential oils is incredibly dangerous. It's highly toxic. There is a massive, massive difference between the raw botanical plant and the highly concentrated oil extracted from it. To really understand why, let's think about the biology for a second. Cats have over 200 million smell receptors, plus a highly specialized vomeronasal organ. So, what smells like a pleasantly light lavender or citrus breeze to us is just overwhelmingly intense to a feline. And because they have such sensitive systems, and because they are constantly grooming their own fur, essential oils can easily cause severe neurologic, gastrointestinal, or respiratory poisoning. It's a real danger. Because of these biological realities, we have some strict rules. Never apply essential oils directly to cats, and literally never apply them to the soil, your garden paths, or their bedding. Think about it. If a cat walks through an oil-sprayed garden, it gets right on their paws. When they inevitably groom themselves later, they end up ingesting that toxic oil. Your absolute safest bet is sticking to raw, natural botanicals. Think small amounts of fresh citrus peels scattered right on the outer border. Just remember, natural scents do fade pretty quickly, so you absolutely must reapply them after a heavy rain or after you water your garden to keep that deterrent active.
Next up, Section 4, high-tech yard defense.
Now, these gadgets are fantastic because, well, they do the work for you, 24/7.
Motion-activated sprinklers use an infrared field so when a cat walks by, boom, they deliver a sudden, completely harmless 3-second burst of water that startles the cat right out of the yard. Then you have ultrasonic devices. You can place these along property lines to emit a high-frequency sound that felines find highly annoying, but is completely silent to human ears. And hey, if you have existing fences, there's this brilliant piece of humane engineering, roller bar attachments, like the oscillate system. You install them right on the top rail, and when a cat tries to scale the fence and grab the top, the bar just spins. It safely forces them to slip right back down on the outside of your property. It's genius.
Finally, Section 5. Alternative outdoor latrines.
Think of an alternative latrine as basically a peace offering. By setting up a discreetly placed sandbox or even a pile of loose peat moss in a shaded, out-of-the-way spot near the edge of your property, you're giving the community cat a vastly superior option. Remember, they just want soft dirt. If you make your garden incredibly uncomfortable with things like pine cones and cat scat mats, but simultaneously offer them a perfect, fluffy sandbox 20 feet away, you're working with their natural instincts instead of constantly fighting against them. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to challenge you to pick just one of these tools today. Ask yourself, instead of declaring an endless turf war, how can you use smart environmental design to outwit your feline visitors? Whether you decide to lay down a dense layer of river rocks, scatter fresh citrus peels after the next rainfall, or maybe set up a motion-activated sprinkler to stand guard while you sleep, you now have the exact knowledge you need to protect your property safely. Go ahead and reclaim your yard, become a neighborhood diplomat, and prove that beautiful gardens and community cats really can peacefully coexist. Thanks so much for learning with me today, and I'll see you in the next explainer.